Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Zeal for Python by RB. Today we will learn about iterators in Python. If you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon for notification. Let's start today's lesson. Iterators. What are iterators? According to Wikipedia, iterators are an object which allows programmer to move through a container, specially list. In Python, iterators are object that allows programmer to move from left to right and vice versa through various sequence-based objects. Physically stored sequence-based object can also be considered as an iterator. Iter method is used for initialization of iterator and next method can be used to call the next item or value of the iterator. Next method raises a stop iteration exception to signal the end of the iteration. What are containers? Containers are the objects like list, dictionary, sets, strings and tuples which can be used to create an iterator. Now, what exactly all this means? Suppose we have a list. List does not have its own next method. That is, you cannot move through the list or produce its item one by one without indexing. Here comes iterator in picture. To move through the list, we first need to create an iterable object of that particular list. Here, list is considered as a container as we are iterating in it. So, in order to make the iterable object, we use iter method to initialize it and creates it iterable object. Then on that iterable object, we can use next method to give it next method which will give its next item in the list. To signal the end of the list, it will give us the stop iteration exception. Let us see with the help of an example. Here I have a list which has items 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In this list, now we have to create its iterable object. Suppose I'll take L object and I will use iter method on it. This is my initialization. My iterable object has been created, L underscore object. Now, we can use next method on iterable object L object to call all the items one by one. See, 1. Then again I am doing next, it will give me another. Like this, it gives all the items of the list. In order to show the end of list, it will give us stop iteration exception. This was the iterator using iter and next tool. But we can iterate through the iterables using for loop. For loop is an excellent example of iterator tool. For loop steps through the sequenced based object or even user defined iterable objects one by one. For loop has a variable. In a for loop, variable is taken as a target to contain one item at a time through the mentioned iterable object. As you can see here, we have a iterable object list with items 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and x is taken as a target. Here x, whenever the for loop will run, each item from the list will be contained by the target x For loop's body will process it, and after the process, again for loop will contain next item. Like this, all items are one by one contained by the target and processed by the for loop. This is the syntax of for loop, where variable is a target, an object is an iterable object. This is the body to process, and we have an else statement as an optional. Let us see the example of help. Let us see with the help of an example. Here we have a list with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as an items. We have to take product of all the items in the list and print it. Let us see. As you can see, we have here hash bank statement, which we will discuss in our upcoming videos. We have mul as 1. This is used to contain the multiplication of each items. X is here the target, and this is my iterable object. When the for loop runs for the first time, it takes first item of the list in X, multiplies it with mul. This is the assignment operator. This is the way of assignment. To know more about the assignment operators, check videos on numbers in Python on our channel. After it multiplies the first item, now mul contains the new value. Then again for loop will contain another item. This way, one by one, all the items will be contained in X. It will be multiplied with the values in mul, and lastly mul will have the final value of multiplication, and it will print it. As you can see, it gives me the value 120. For loop can even work on dictionary by using its key. Like here, as you can see on the screen, we have a dictionary with keys as name, date of birth, and occupation. If we use a for loop, we can print all the keys and along with its value. For loop can also be nested in another for loop. This was about for loop. Now file iterators. File on their own are called iterators, as they are based on iter and next protocol. Files have their own iter and next method, and next method can be used to read line one by one, just like read line method. The only difference is that read line gives empty string indicating end of the file, and next method gives stop iteration exception to show the end of the file. Files can be easily be read by using for loop as an iterator. Using for loop to read file is always works best for big files. This is the way in which we can use for loop as an iterator to read files. As you can see, L in this target, when this file will open, it will take all the lines one by one in the target L, and it will print it. In iterators, we just have to open the file and use next method. Whenever you will call next method, it will give us the lines one by one. For each line to see, you will have to use the next method. Range function. Range. There is a function called range which is used to produce series of successful higher integers till mentioned integer in the range. For example, let us see here. See, if I do L is equals to range list of range, say 5. We will have list of 5 items starting from 0 till 4. See, we will have range. What is range doing here? It is producing or generating 0 to 4, that is successful higher integers starting from 0 till the mentioned integer minus 1. So total number of items generated by range is 5 only, but it starts from 0. In for loop, if a for loop is used along with range, it will move through 0 to 6. See here, range 7 is mentioned, so this for loop target I will contain items from 0 to 6 and it will print it. Let's see. For I in range 7, print I. As you can see, it will one by one I will contain each item starting from 0 to 6 and it will print. Now we have one more range, has one more cousin called as Xrange. So what is the difference between range and Xrange? Range generates the series of integers all at once in a memory location. All at once from 0 to 6, it will give every or 0 to all the items all at once. Whereas Xrange generates the series of integers one at a time on demand. Range can be positive and negative. In order to give the negative bounds, we will have to use this kind of expression. What will be the lower negative bound and what will be the positive higher bound. Xrange is also similar. They can also be positive and negative. In Python 3.x and above, the range behaves as Xrange and generates item on demand. That is, we will have to use again and again, we will have to demand. Whereas in Python 2.7, we need to exclusively call Xrange. Range works differently in 2.7. It will generate all the numbers at once in a memory location. Whereas if we need Xrange to work on, we need to generate range on demand. That is one by one, we will need to call Xrange exclusively in 2.7. Memory used is more as physical list of item is generated. This is only till 2.7, Python 2.7, because after that range behaves as Xrange. And memory used is less as integers are produced one at a time. User-defined iterators can also be created by using class, which we will cover in OOPS concept. Till then, stay tuned to our channel for more updates. If you liked our video, please press the like button and share with your friends and colleagues. Thank you.